Hello. I almost said welcome to Wednesday, but it's not.
No, it's definitely Friday.
No. No, I wish that were true, but it's
So
not.
close.
It's Thursday. How's it going, everyone? Happy Thursday. Happy She-Hulk Day. I'll get it. We're all a little loopy. I'm here. I'm Eric. This is Bailey. That's Kim. You see in the magical screen. We are going to talk She-Hulk episode 5. Full spoilers if you haven't seen it. So you have been warned. 3, 2, 1. Full spoiler zone for She-Hulk episode 5, which explained the Avengers mug.
Yeah.
On screen. I do like the little hints of the future when they do stuff like that.
Yeah.
Although I'm guessing, is there going to be a lawsuit now over this illegal stuff? Is Avengers Corporated going to be suing about it?
No way, not worth their time.
I
They've
don't
got
know.
bigger fish to fry.
What if there's someone pretty petty? I don't know who's like watching over like the legal. Like, is Pepper involved in that?
I feel like Pepper wouldn't. I think if Tony were still around, he might pursue it. He's the only one who I feel was petty enough
Maybe
to...
Happy. I don't know. Maybe.
Maybe. I feel like Happy's got his hands full.
Yeah.
He's a busy guy.
Maybe this is why Matt Murdock's coming in.
That's right. He's representing the Avengers.
Yeah.
There you go. I did not watch this episode under optimal circumstances, which is to say I hadn't gotten much sleep myself, and then I couldn't sleep, so I just watched it at like 5:30 in the morning. A lot groggy. My first impression was like I didn't love the pacing on this episode. Last week was so good. Like last week was like kind of like me personally, I was like, oh, this is like hitting on all cylinders for the most part. This one had some fun stuff, but I didn't think it quite moved as well. What did you guys think of the 5th episode of She-Hulk? Kim, go.
Oh, come to me. Well, yeah, it wasn't. I agree with you. It wasn't as good. It was a bit of a disappointment after the highs of last week.
The Madison
and
highs.
These Madison highs. What? Madison and Wonga's. It really missed those two this week because they were such a highlight. In particular, Madison last week. But in Wonga's absence this week, I am drinking this week a gin and tonic, his favorite drink.
I love the theme drinks. Please.
This is great. You need to do this every week until the show ends. You know that, right?
It is 7 p.m. here. I will just reiterate that, not 11 a.m.
But no judgment, even if not. It's 7 p.m. and also this show, they frequently go to like a lawyer bar. They were talking about drinks last week. Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but that set where the bar is, I feel like that's Rosalita's from Happy Endings. May it rest in peace. It looks so much like it. And like, I just feel like every time I see it, I'm like, oh, Rosalita's.
It's possible. I mean, look, I don't know if Happy Endings filmed in Atlanta as this does, but
no, Happy Endings filmed in Los Angeles.
It did. So maybe it's just we know there are fans at the MCU of Happy Endings because WandaVision did a very direct call out in the opening credits of one of their episodes to Happy Endings.
That's true.
It's possible.
It looks like Rosalita's.
I think it's
swear
a
to
deep
God.
cut Easter egg.
What'd you say, Kim?
I think it's a deep cut Easter egg. That's what it is.
Yeah, it's just for me. It's just they're like, here's something for Bailey. She needs it.
Bailey, what did you think of Mean Green and straight poured into these jeans?
I liked it. I thought it was good. Liked it. I also watched it at approximately not 5 this morning. I started watching it at 5 in the morning, and then I paused to watch the Capcom presentation at Tokyo Game Show, and then I watched it again after. But I really liked it. I thought it retroactively made me like last week's episode more, which isn't to say I didn't like last week's episode, but one of my major complaints was that it really kind of felt like a filler episode. Like it felt like the date plot didn't really matter and it wasn't going anywhere. And to bring it back this week in such a clever way, I was like, oh, all right. I was like very pleasantly surprised by that. Plus, anytime I see Renee Elise Goldsberry, I'm going to be happy.
Yes.
Obviously.
Yes.
She's a gem.
She is. Girls 5 Eva.
Girls 5 Eva.
Please watch it.
What are you waiting, 5?
It was interesting, because she was sort of notable by her mostly absence. Like I think she literally popped in on one episode, like leaned into the room and said something.
Yeah, I was just waiting for her to come back this whole time.
Yeah, it's like she needs to come back. She's playing a character from the comics. Yeah, you got a Hamilton star. You got to use her. So yeah, it was nice. And I agree with you. It's, I am, as someone who's not like desperately needing like a big overarching storyline here, I do like the kind of subtle bleed through they do. Like last week did that too, where it's like Wong came back, but he didn't come back for the same reason. He just kind of like, hey, I have something else now that I know you, lawyer friend. And this week, the dating, the dating. Look at them right there.
The guys.
What a
peanut
lineup.
gallery.
They came back. Raynard City Update Channel says, I thought this was the most sitcom-y episode, but it was fun. I think I'd agree with that. This is a comedy. It has completely been pitched as a comedy, but this was probably one of the more like overtly like, wacky sitcom episodes.
Yeah, and although we didn't have Madison and Wong, and we all love them, we did get Nikki and Pug teaming up, and they were funny.
I was so happy about that. Oh my God.
They really riff off one another really, really well. They seem to be having such a good time on screen together. And I hope that we see more of this duo as it goes forward.
I love their dynamic. Yeah, I agree with you, Kim. They're just like, as soon as I saw them together, my brain was like, oh, of course they should be in a scene together.
Yeah, I agree with that too. Josh Segarra is so likable, and like them bouncing off each other, Ginger Gonzaga and him. It's just I was like, oh yeah, I think it is probably something right where you see actors together and like, oh yeah, we should probably
they should be in all the scenes together. Yeah,
they should be in all the scenes together. So yeah, the main plot here, we brought Titania back into the main plot here. With this lawsuit, I will say I very much enjoyed that Titania had She-Hulk spelled wrong without the hyphen. As someone who's been that dork his whole life, saying Spider-Man has a hyphen in the middle, knowing that people will always not put it there. Star-Lord and many of our Marvel friends, I did like that her whole branding, she didn't have the hyphen. What'd you guys think of? What'd you say, Kim?
Sorry, Eric. That is good for SEO. I was going to say.
No, that's actually she should have said that, right? She's like, I know there's a hyphen, but it's better for SEO if I don't put that hyphen in there. So she came back into the main plot here with this lawsuit. What do you guys think? I think it's like I'm okay with it to a point, but I kind of want, even if it's a throwaway line, like what her deal is a little more, because she's an influencer, but she has superpowers. So I'm hoping we get some little explanation. What do you think, Kim, of like, do you want to know more about Titania's deal?
I do, and I'm surprised they didn't hint at that more in this episode, given that it was our real first big intro to her, because she came across, I thought, in this episode, she was kind of disappointing because she's a stereotype. They're sending up the whole influencer thing, circus, and as a character, there's clearly more to her, but we haven't. Well, I say clearly, maybe there isn't. Hopefully, we'll get more as it goes along, and understand that she's maybe more nefarious than she maybe appears in this episode. But we still don't know really why she turned up in court in episode 1, and why she's out to get She-Hulk seemingly.
Yeah. What do you think, Bailey? What is her deal?
Well, I did think that the ad for her beauty line was a pretty perfect parody of influencer beauty lines. I was deeply delighted by that. I want to see more of her. I agree that I would like to understand her motives a bit better, but I thought she was fun. I don't know. I just sort of like watched this like, oh, I like what's going on here. Maybe not as much of a critical eye as I normally do, but I think my biggest criticism of her was just that her wig is so bad. It looks like she bought it at a gas station. Get her a new wig. There are 4 more episodes. Disney Plus, you have time to fix this. It's not too late.
This is where I feel like I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing that I just always feel like wig blind, that I'm like, I know consciously that's not her hair, but I'm like, I don't know. I just never looking at the wigs, and I'm always
I just thought it could be because her fringe was the same as it is in real life. So I was not as again, I'm like you, Eric. I think wig blind.
Wig blind. That's
it. Just looked like she was smuggling a bicycle helmet in underneath. Like
the volume.
Fix it. But I like her. I think that her American accent was surprising to me because I actually wasn't really expecting it to be that good. But I felt like she nailed it. But yeah, I think it's a good sign that we want more from her, because if the character were just tiresome and obnoxious, we wouldn't really want to know more. We just wouldn't want to see her again.
Yeah.
So I am definitely intrigued by her. I would like to know why she winds up in the courtroom fighting with She-Hulk, or why she wound up, because the timeline's so confusing. But I would like to know that. I want to know what her deal is.
Yeah.
But I thought she was fun.
Yeah, I think the performance is very fun. But yeah, there's just like, I want a little bit more connective tissue there, because she does, like, yeah, what is her real, what was she doing in that courtroom in the first place? Is there a greater agenda here? We'll bring it up briefly, but as we talked last week, there was like the theories about who is behind trying to take Jen's blood, and is it connected? And there was some people were saying maybe it's the leader, which suddenly has a lot more credibility because Tim Blake Nelson was just announced he's coming back as the leader. So I have no idea, like, yeah, if they'll tie all that together. But yeah, I am curious. Yeah, I just want to know. I think it's a funny idea, right? That if people get superpowers, some of them won't be superheroes or supervillains necessarily. They're just like, I'm just going to be an influencer. But I do want to know at this point, because yes, mutants are here sort of with Kamala, but they're not here enough that she can just be like, I was born with this power. So I do want to know, like, yeah, how'd you end up like this, Titania?
Yeah.
How'd you get so Titania?
Explain yourself.
Yes. Explain yourself. Let's talk about the new. We talked about Pug and Nikki's sort of side quest here, which first of all brought them to the guy selling bootleg merch, which was very funny.
Yeah, I would kill for an Avengers shirt, honestly.
Guess what? Disney's going to sell you that Avengers shirt.
I am confident, and they had better. It's the first time straight up that I've ever wanted to buy merch. Like,
I know. I loved that Hulk Borat beach towel. That's my next cosplay.
It's so good. It was so funny. As soon as he opened it, I was like, oh, this is not what they're looking for, but it's exactly what I want. More of this. I want this to be the rest of the episode.
At D23 Expo, at the back of the Marvel booth, they had part of Avengers Con. They had like a whole wall display, and they had Things Hulk smashed photo op. And I was like, oh, this is the next thing. The bootleg, but it's not, because we're really selling it legally and profiting off of it because we're Disney and we're savvy like that. This will be the next thing.
So smart.
And they're going to get Bailey to buy a shirt, and I'll buy a shirt.
If you can get me to buy an overpriced branded Disney shirt, then you can get anyone, because it's a rare shirt that makes me shell out $40.
Yes. This brought us though to Luke Jacobson, who is the costume designer of the superhero world. What do you think of like just introducing this whole element into the show with the underground costume designer?
Sorry, the character's name is Luke Jacobson.
He is Luke Jacobson.
Yeah.
I feel like it should be funner than that.
He's from the comics.
I know, but like, look at his whole persona.
Well, we need Madison to give him a better name.
He should be like LJ or just Luke, like Cher, one word. I loved him. I want more of him.
Yeah, well, this whole bit was like I was watching Emily in Paris, actually. This could have been taken out of Emily in Paris.
So good. It is cool to be mean in fashion.
That was
right.
That was a very funny line. Yeah, I didn't think this episode was as funny as last week, but there were little moments that definitely made me laugh. And hers about you got to be mean in fashion.
This one made me laugh more than last week's. Actually, I found this. I think this one hit my funny bone a bit better than any of the episodes have so far.
Ah, interesting.
Yeah, maybe it's just because I was loopy because I woke up at 5 a.m. for some reason. But I tend to find things less funny when I'm sleepy, so I feel like that's a good sign, actually.
Right. As I jump back and forth with AMA, I see that Al, how about I say your name right? Al Mosik 210 says, why didn't they point out that Titania instigated She-Hulk into a fight in court? I know that they did. It was done as a throwaway joke, but Titania had gotten off on those charges. She had some funny excuse about being like loopy on meds or something. So I think that's probably why that didn't come up there. Luke's introduction does raise the question, and I think we have this question in general, and I think it's one of those things we're always going to have to be murky on with the MCU is, in Marvel Comics, it's like there's just thousands of superpowered people just bouncing off walls. We still aren't at that point with what we've seen. You know, it still feels like dozens, but not like hundreds or thousands. So unless maybe there's more we don't know of, because I'm like, who is Luke's clientele? Like, because he had a large staff. That was the one thing that bothered me. I wish it'd just be him and maybe an assistant. But he had like, when they first went in, he had
like an atelier.
He had like 6 or 7 people.
It's like Cruella in there.
Yeah. So I'm not quite sure how many superheroes he would be helping out at this point. But hey, there's a bunch of Disney Plus shows coming, so Luke's going to be their guy.
Yeah, we're talking phase 7 here. We're looking way far out.
Right. And of course, we talked about, would we get a like Matt Murdock showing up at the end of the episode tease?
I called that.
We didn't get him physically, but we got the new mask.
Fully called.
Helmet.
I think the fact that there wasn't a mid-credits sequence actually speaks to my theory that they were gonna like tease him in the mid-credits sequence, and then he's gonna be in the next episode. I feel like that scene was supposed to be the mid-credits sequence, and then they just were like, never mind, let's just put it in the actual episode, which I do prefer, but I would have preferred being more right than I was. But I was so close that I think we can round up.
I have to say, I'm a little miffed by the lack of mid-credit scene. You know, we got the press screeners of the first 4, and they all had mid-credit scenes. And they even had, Jen says at the end of the 4th episode, she's like, oh, kind of a bummer ending, but there's a funny tag with Wong or something like that. And that, I assumed every episode would have that. And I wonder if you're right that it's like this was going to be that and they moved it. But either way, this is my lawsuit against She-Hulk, but not really, is that I expected more mid-credit scenes.
Yes, and what they should have done was show where Wong was this episode. And I have a theory that he was binging, he's finished The Sopranos and he's now binging The Wire. So that's what I think should have been the post-credit.
Just catching up on all the classic 2000s television
shows,
that he missed
in
the first time around.
I wanted to mention about the Daredevil helmet was that it's already distressed, you know? It's like Matt has said, don't make it too shiny. That is not me. I don't want to look like it's brand new. Make it look like I've been in some scuffles.
Yeah.
It looks like a rugby ball with horns.
and actually, I will say there is this works. You know, although we'll have to find out. I mean, I guess Matt Murdock heard about Luke on the underground scene, but in Daredevil, he had his costume made by Melvin. Like he had a costume guy who went to jail last we saw, so he will need a new guy.
Needed a new guy.
Yeah,
there you go.
And
don't know why they're not employing Miss Marvel's mum to do this. I mean,
we don't know that they're not. There were so many people in that.
I mean, Luke
room.
has such a large staff. He's like, I'm opening a Jersey branch.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes. Trey Beck says, I think Daredevil is coming in when she has to defend Kingpin, or that would be what I would do. I don't think they're going to go. Kingpin is such a heavy thing. I don't think. Well, I think Echo is when we next see Kingpin.
It'd be cool to see Vinny again, though.
Yeah. I mean,
we're on nickname basis. Me and Vincent D'Onofrio.
I mean, I saw a clip of him in Echo, so I know he's going. I think that would be a very different show if suddenly like a Wilson Fisk trial came into this.
Yeah.
It's going to be pretty tough to undercut him with the comedy, isn't it? And expect him to be as menacing going forward. So I'm going to agree.
His crimes are all very serious too. There's nothing very funny about the things he does.
Right. Because I'm not like some people. There were some people very upset that like when they were like, oh, we're going to bring Daredevil into She-Hulk's world and see him in like a funnier mode, and people were freaking out. And I was like, oh, Daredevil's had like lighter moments, but Kingpin is hard to be like, this is the funny Kingpin.
No, I don't think that's a character that meshes well with comedy.
Right. It's the funny way that he slams a guy's head in a door until he kills him.
They do it, but with like a like a clown music background.
He slips and falls in the blood he just left. It's just...
Genre can change like that. You just need to change the OST.
Fight with the Wrecking Crew was like that, wasn't it? Actually.
Yeah.
Anyway,
maybe they're working for him. Yeah, that's true. Maybe that's who they were working for. Slaviton Rock says, it would be really underwhelming if Titania's thing was just influencers are stupid and bad. I mean, I'm okay with her main thing being influencer, but I do think there needs to be something else around that.
No, I'd love for her to have hidden depths. I mean, she has confirmed for us the existence of Shrek in the MCU, so she's already brought us a great gift, which is so interesting because Shrek was created to make fun of Disney, so everything is just really a circle, a snake eating its own tail. Entertainment is just all connected all the way down. It's one endless homunculus of media. Here we are.
Wait. Up since 5 a.m.
Since 5 a.m.
This is when you give your long monologue. When she said that line about Shrek in a dress, I thought, oh, that's funny because when the first teasers for this came out and it had the really early effects, a lot of people were like, she looks like Shrek. And I thought, oh, is this a reaction? But I was like, no, she's not ADR'd. We see her on camera say that line. So I guess they knew, guys. They knew you'd mention Shrek.
There are just only so many famous green characters, and it would be kind of weird to call her Hulk in a dress because,
Yeah.
Yeah, you nailed it.
Langley M. Neely says, how do you get the title Drip Broker? Well, you know, Pug.
Yeah, I feel like that doesn't say it on the guy's business cards. I feel like Pug just has a way with words.
Yes. First of all, I like that we met the Power Broker in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and now we've got the Drip Broker here. Do you guys know? I do know in my life, like, super crazy sneaker fans. Like, okay, yeah.
No, when he said when he was talking about how when to wear, when to display or whatever, I was like, this is something I've heard of. I get this.
I'm married to one.
Oh, you are? Okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
A publicist I know very well is he's like all about that sneaker life. No judgment, guys. This is a guy who's pre-ordering toys all the time. I cannot cast judgment on someone doing something else obsessively.
Sneakers are
Same
cool.
thing.
Wear
Same
your cool
energy.
shoes.
That's right. Langley M. Neely also asks, Avengers or Avengers, which was the other Avengers just...
I like Avengers better.
Yeah.
Well, I was why not the other two vowels? This is what bugged me about that. Why did we only go with Avengers and Avengers?
Well,
Why not Avengers?
maybe there was some
And
other
Avengers.
merch and it just didn't sell as well.
I do feel like Avengers would have been good though. I would buy an Avengers shirt. That works for me really well.
Garth McMurray brings up, Kim, the same point you did about that the yellow helmet shows scrapes and damage. He's sending it out like that. But I like your explanation, right? That was like a Matt request.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
Designers make distressed denim and sell it like that, and so it might not have been a request. It might have been the designer's decision because that is fashion.
Yeah, I mean, look at all the ripped jeans you can buy. They have so many different kinds of rips out. You can get a jean ripped anywhere.
That's right. It is. It's just that's what's new in 2022. Let's talk about the very Easter eggy image in the closing credits. Speaking of the shoes, this wall of shoes, the Iron Man 3s, which I thought was a funny thing that he was looking for the Iron Man 3s, and that in this giant wall there is some very notable shoes here that some are characters we know in the MCU, like there's some Captain Marvel shoes there, but some are ones we don't. There's very, very obviously the Thing shoes you see there with the orange blocky.
Yeah, there they
and
are.
blue, and then two below are the Cyclops shoes.
Those are Cyclops shoes.
Yeah, with visors.
Oh my God, they look like a Darkwing Duck dressed up as Cyclops for Halloween.
Do we have William? The Deadpool was another very notable one.
Yes, just by her head.
There, next to her head, there, right behind her
Yeah.
head. It's got his mask on it. It is funny. This was a conversation I actually a meeting this morning with Max and Finn, Kim and Bailey. I came into a couple minutes late, and they were having is this canon or not? Is a closing credit image in the style of a courtroom drawing canon?
I think we have to assume it is. Everything's canon.
If this is canon, then Holloway had the booty juice as well. So.
Oh yeah, he did have the booty juice. Look, he loves the booty juice.
There it is.
The smoothie, yeah. I don't think it's canon. I think people. I don't think we're meant to believe that like Cyclops is a known entity in the MCU, and now he's got a shoe. I think it's just a fun thing, but it is a fun thing. There's definitely, there's even,
It's canon.
It's canon. Billy, I will like if the X-Men show up and they're like, like the shoes.
From the shoes, yeah.
It turns out this version of Professor X is all about branding.
Yeah.
And he was like, I'm going to make humans accept mutants by getting them very into our shoes.
I mean, I think that would work, actually. I think that would be the way to do it.
Right? All right, I'm into it. There was also a Speedball pair of shoes that is a much more obscure character, but there was some fun things hidden in there. Let's see. Langley asked curious if they incorporate Daredevil in San Francisco comic stuff. In the comics, Daredevil lived in San Francisco for a while, but not LA. I think there's a million reasons to get him to the West Coast briefly.
Sure. I mean, why would he live in San Francisco? He's not in the tech industry. There's so much more to do in LA for him.
That's right. That's right. Because he was in the San Francisco in like the late 70s in the comics. Yeah, things have changed.
Things have changed dramatically in San Francisco. There's no place for Daredevil there now.
Right.
If you're not a tech bro, get out.
I was wondering if he's come to LA expressly to date She-Hulk because he likes the ladies.
He does.
This is true.
I will say, the clip they showed at D23 Expo, I won't go into all the details of it. It was from the Daredevil episode. Jen is liking the vibes that Matt is putting out there.
I'm so excited.
Al, I always feel bad because I'm always massacring this name. I know. Sorry. Al Mozik or Elm Mozik 210 says, I would have loved to see one more scene regarding the sneakers. The sneakerhead in me would love that. The thing is, the MCU, you never know. There could be like Pug's Sneaker Corner. They could do shorts.
Starts a YouTube series about sneakers. I love that. God, I hope that Jen and Matt Murdock get together. It would be the second funniest sex scene in the MCU.
I really liked that. What was that line about she had on her profile about you have to have like a good back and yeah.
God, I don't think I'd be strong enough to let my dating app profile be read aloud in court. It's like, send me to jail, fine me all my money. Anything but that. No, thank you.
Chris Smith, who I believe is not a fan of this show, if he's the person I've seen in the comments, but says, I already know Daredevil is going to be in for a super short amount of time. Unfortunately, black. I mean, we said this last week. He'll get an episode. He'll be like Wong. He'll be a solid part of an episode.
An episode's 28 minutes. Even if he's there for, oh my God, I'm gonna do math. 7 minutes. That's a fourth of the episode.
Yeah. No, I think he'll get more than that.
I don't know why I set myself up for that.
Well, they can't do that tease with the helmet and then have him only appear for 7 minutes.
He comes and goes, hey, just here to get my helmet.
7 minutes in heaven.
Guys, I really like Ian Newfield's comment. In this universe, Cyclops is shoes.
Oh.
I love that.
Some would say he's just as interesting as shoes. I actually like Cyclops, but I can join in on he's boring barbs. So.
They're miserable to tie, though. Oh my God.
I know, but look at those freaking those visor up front. It's very exciting.
It's so cute and good.
Yes. Let's see. I think we've mentioned most of the main things from this. I did like that in Luke's costume shop, there was very notably a suit with nipples on it. Which, it all goes back to the choices made in the Schumacher Batman movies. Which, yeah, there it is.
There it is.
That's right.
And he caresses it.
He does. I actually thought that was a very funny choice in Zack Snyder's Watchmen the movie. Was Ozymandias had nipples on his costume. I was like, I see what you did there, Zack Snyder.
I think that a lot of funny choices were made in that movie.
I will mildly defend that movie.
Sure, it is the only time anyone's used hallelujah in correct context.
for a superhero sex scene?
Yeah.
All right.
That is what Leonard Cohen intended. That song.
Guys, do you think the ultimate villain of this show will be the drip broker?
No.
Fine.
No, I don't think so.
All right. I think.
Sorry, I know we're supposed to yes and, but no.
No, it's okay. It's okay. We're all a little loopy. Have we mentioned that? All right. I think we'll wrap it up there. Get Bailey some rest.
Oh, I wish, but there's so much more going on today, Eric.
Oh, there is. What's going on today? What else?
Oh, look at that.
I'm a pro. At 3 p.m. Pacific time at twitch.tv/fandom, we are continuing Fandom Game Club, chapters 3 and 4 of Call of the Sea, a point-and-click Cthulhu mystery. Ooh. Watch me try to do puzzles like this. Ooh.
It won't work very well if you have your hands like that.
You know what? We'll solve what we solve, okay? It's really fun. Come hang out, come watch. It's a blast. And then tomorrow at 8 a.m.
Ryan's ugging off camera.
we're co-streaming Capcom's Street Fighter Showcase. That's 8 a.m. Pacific time, and then at 11 a.m. Pacific time, we're watching Rings of Power episode 4.
Yeah, do it.
So if you're sick of me now, just you wait.
Watch her Rings of Power through it all, guys.
Hey!
On top of that, I'll mention on Monday we are going to do House of the Dragon mid-season check-in, cast changeover episode check-in. Talk about that. I believe at 11 a.m. Is that right, Ryan? It sounds right.
Yeah.
Sure.
Unless we want to wake up. Yeah, whatever. Yes.
Yes. Most likely 11 a.m.
You should do it at 7. It's fun to stream at 7. I recommend it.
And then Andor, we're going to start next Wednesday, December 21st. We're figuring out the time of the first episode because there's 3 episodes on the first day, and we do not want to be cruel to all of us and say, watch 3 episodes, and then, immediately when you wake up. So we'll probably do that
funny,
one
though.
early afternoon. Where I'm thinking 1 p.m.
Do it for the bit, Eric.
But we'll solidify. Do it for the bit. Watch it 3 a.m. Yeah.
Just call in immedially after 3 in the morning stream.
Just watch 3 episodes of Andor.
This is my new content strategy for SJU. We only stream at 3 in the morning.
We're gonna do it. There'll be an audience for that. All right.
It'd be the middle of the day for Kim.
Yes.
It's good for me.
It's good for Kim. She'll have a great drink to enjoy. Kim, thank you for joining us as always.
Thanks for having me.
We will be back with all that stuff and more here at Fandom. Farewell.
Goodbye, 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 goodbye.
Goodbye.